A point the difference in favour of the Sydney Swans. There's the siren to end the third quarter. And at three-quarter time, it's the Sydney Swans. 10 goals, 11-71 to Carlton, 11 goals, 4-70.
20,000 people braved the cold to see the Sydney Swans win their first premiership for 22 years when they thrashed North Melbourne to take the 1982 trophy. Bernie Evans was voted best afield. Silvio Pescini kicked 4 goals, and the Swans' great leader Barry Round praised coach Ricky Quaid as he held the cup aloft. Things have changed dramatically for the Swans, but not their great will to win. Tonight, they're back in action in the second semi-final of the 1984 Sterling Cup, and you're with them on 7 Sport.
Swans added 6-6 in that quarter to Carlton's 3-1. They got 5 of those goals in the first 11 minutes. It's 1 point the difference at three-quarter time. Let's go down to our man on the boundary. Here's Stephen.
Thank you, Peter. Well, Carlton Club Dr. John Fraser certainly earning his money tonight. Alan Montgomery and Des English sitting there in the dugout. Both have very, very sore ribs. The doctor will have a closer look at them a little later. Spiro Corcomilis has already had stitches in the back of his head. Rod Ashman's resting in the forward pocket with a hamstring strain. The doctors had a look at Bruce Dool, who's also limping rather badly. I think the club would like to have him off the ground if it was at all possible. And Ian Muller, who went to centre half forward, was knocked down behind the play. And the runner came back and said he didn't even know where he was. And he's been talking to John Fraser. Hope they're not talking about the bulk medical billing out here. But things are in a rather bad way for the Blues at the moment on the scoreboard and in the medical room.
Well, thank you, Stephen. Well, John Fraser might have it a little bit easier this weekend because, of course, he's the LTAA's official doctor, and I don't think the Australian tennis team will be suffering the same injuries when they take on Italy in Brisbane. Bob Skilton, how did you see that quarter, and what do you think might happen?
Well, with 6 goals 6 to 3 goals 1, it was certainly a great quarter by the Swans, and a fine comeback, and really led by Greg Smith. He's back to the form of a couple of years ago. And we had a better quarter from Mark Browning. Paul Hawke coming on the ground was effective around the forward line with some good handball. And there's young Foy with coach Bob Hammond. But Hammond would be extremely happy with the way his team performed in that quarter. Their back line tightened up, and a couple of injuries to Carlton forced Hunter to go to the back line, Montgomery to go to the forward line for a while, when he courageously took 2 fine marks and kicked a goal, but he had to come off the ground with bad ribs. And I think during that quarter, Lou, we saw a far better performance by the big fellow in Justin Madden.
Yes, he put up a good performance, didn't he?
He went into the ruck. He won these knockouts from in the ruck. He went down into defence and took some good, strong marks. Bruce Dool was magnificent across the half-back line. He stopped everybody that one may have stopped, and nobody stopped Bob Hammond there. He just slipped over. But
Final quarter now from VFL Park. 1 point the difference in favour of the Swans.